Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal News. My name is Jamie, and we're going to start with this one. This episode's from the website Week and Weird, one of my favorite websites. This is, I think the names are Greg and Dana. They're paranormal people. Highly recommend finding them. They do tons of stuff. But here's their story. It's written by Greg. It's called The Conjuring of Bigfoot, the Forgotten Case File detailing the time Lorraine Warren met Sasquatch in Tennessee. Bigfoot. So Lorraine Warren met Bigfoot. Famed ghost chasers Ed and Lorraine Warren are best known for their terrifying cases involving demonic dolls named Annabelle. Have you guys seen those movies? They're great. And maybe assisting in the Enfield poltergeist case. But there's one strange tale you won't ever see in the Conjuring films, the time Lorraine Warren met Bigfoot. It was announced this morning that Lorraine Warren, 92, died peacefully in her sleep. That's right, I think it was 2019 she passed away. And the heartfelt tributes to her life have been pouring in since the news broke. I only met Lorraine once, very briefly in 2011, but during my formative years, she and her husband's books played a big part in getting me interested in the subject of ghosts. In fact, had I not read their books in middle school, I might not be a full-time paranormal investigator or run the traveling museum of the paranormal and occult today. That's right, they have a traveling museum at Greg and Dana, though. Love it. In their book, Lorraine and Ed, in their book, Ghost Hunters, published in 1989, Ed and Lorraine Warren lay out some of their most terrifying cases, investigations which include elements like disappearing Nigerian priests, judo chop martial arts murders, porno theater demons, and possessed biker gangs, just to name a few. It's legitimately one of the weirdest, craziest books you'll ever read, and gives you a much better idea of the duo's actual views and investigations than offered in The Conjuring or Gerard Brittle's book, The Demonologist. Ghost Hunters was one of the very first books I'd ever read about paranormal investigation, and it scared the hell out of me. While reading, I'd often wonder if I was possessed because I played with kids adopted from other countries, an actual case file in the book. I wonder whether I might be possessed because I liked fantasy books. Again, an actual case file. And by the time I reached the end, 11-year-old me was seriously considering converting to Catholicism so I wouldn't become possessed. The book didn't actually age well. Tucked away, there's the book right there. Look at that. Tucked away between the tales of demonic terror, however, is a very interesting case file, unlike any other in the Warrens' catalog. It's not scary at all. In fact, it's actually kind of sad. Titled simply Bigfoot, and covered in a scant 8 pages, only 8 pages long. This Ed and Lorraine Warren story is largely forgotten, even though it's both wildly entertaining and presents some pretty groundbreaking ideas for paranormal research in the 1980s. The file begins with a quote from Lorraine Warren. "We had never paid much attention to the stories about Bigfoot. I wouldn't say that we dismissed them as fictitious, but Bigfoot didn't hold much interest for the psychic investigators. That changed one spring when we were lecturing in Tennessee, and a reporter from the Elk Valley Times contacted us and told us about some hill people who kept insisting that something was threatening their children. On a foggy morning, just before embarking on a 4-day lecture tour, Ed and Lorraine Warren headed to rural Tennessee in order to meet with a group of frightened hill people seeking their help with a very strange problem. Something dwelling in the local forest was after their children. Just the day before they arrived, one woman claimed that a massive ape-man had crept up to her 2-year-old child and attempted to snatch him by the arm. Lorraine didn't exactly believe the stories, but having never seen poverty this raw, her sense of guilt pushed her to entertain the witnesses' claims and help ease their fears. A short time later, she found herself following them in the woods, climbing steep hills and descending into gorges in search of this legendary monster. As a psychic ghost hunter, it wasn't exactly the kind of investigation she was used to, I bet. Hours later, exhausted from hours of hiking and frustrated with what felt like a waste of time before a busy lecture tour, Lorraine took a break near a tree. Suddenly her mind flashed with a mental image of a large creature, a fusion of man and ape, with long arms and shaggy hair. Its face was like a caveman, but its eyes were kind and shone with intelligence. There were kind eyes and they had intelligence in them. Lorraine knew it was Bigfoot. As she focused in on the being, she realized that the creature was just 40 feet from her, hiding in the thick brush, and was in pain. Lorraine knew this because Bigfoot was telepathically speaking to her with his mind. He was hurt, the chapter reads, his hairy, splayed foot scabbed with still seeping blood. During his travels that day, he had somehow injured his foot. Afraid that his injury would keep him from returning to his secret cave, the creature now projected great fear. Bigfoot missed his family, and fearing death or capture by the humans seeking him out, he felt trapped and isolated. He was scared for his life. Lorraine Warren began to sense the Sasquatch telepathic messages, explaining that he had terrified the settlement by attempting to kidnap one of their children. But Bigfoot shook his head, responding that he had only meant to make friends with the child. See, youngsters don't have the prejudice of adults, he told her, so he felt he could perhaps explain himself to the child, just as he was explaining himself currently to Lorraine. Eager to help, Lorraine began to shake with anxiety as she hushed her hiking group, needing complete concentration for her communication with the Bigfoot, whom she felt a maternal love for. Wow. As she crept closer into the brush, projecting images of her bandaging the Sasquatch's foot, she spoke softly to the beast, hoping to calm Bigfoot enough to approach him. "I am coming to you," she mentally whispered. "I will help you. I'll be your friend." Suddenly the sound of a bullhorn rang out, breaking her concentration and sending Bigfoot fleeing into the forest. A member of the hiking group had honked a horn as a joke, startling Lorraine and frightening the Sasquatch. Lorraine's mental images became frantic, the searing pain of the Bigfoot's injury almost too much to take. He was running as fast as he could, limping up the hill, shaking with fear and exhaustion. Then the projections disappeared. Bigfoot was gone. Wow, what a story. Lorraine spent the next 20 minutes following a trail of blood, both redder and more viscous, I don't know how the word is, than human blood, to the edge of the cliff. No sign of the creature could be found. And so the case file ends with an apparent Sasquatch suicide. What the heck? It's a sad finale to what is quite possibly the weirdest Warren investigation. Though the state park garbage can monster comes close, but it doesn't end there. Now I gotta look that one up. An intriguing addendum, I don't know, to the tale, I guess ending, Demonologist Ed Warren chimes in to offer his own thoughts on Bigfoot, which are mighty interesting for a ghost hunter for that time period. It is his belief that Bigfoot is a tulpa mind projection. Tulpa? I don't know. So is the Loch Ness Monster and many other now you see it, now you don't creatures that get reported to press. Wow. That's the craziest story. So basically, just talk about the Warrens, how you feel about them, and I've read a few of their books. I never read that one. I'm gonna go scroll back up. I do like this little Photoshop. See, I think her name is Vera, the actress. She plays Lorraine Warren in the movies, and I love how they should make that into a movie somehow. I know it's a short story, but where was I? Oh, there it is. That book. I'm gonna look this book up. Let's check that out. Wow, what crazy stories that is. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. Till next time, I hope everybody's having a great day. And catch you next time. Bye.